Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, and here on my little corner of the web I like to talk about budgeting and lifestyle, and today I am sharing my August 2021 budget wrap up. So this month had some surprise twists. So when I initially made this budget, I had planned that I would only have one more paycheck from my job that I was leaving. So if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I have two part-time jobs and my own business, and I just quit one of the part-time jobs. So I quit, and my last day was halfway through August, and I thought I'd get one paycheck, but I actually didn't remember that the way I budget, like the paycheck that I get at the end of the month prior, like I get it on the very last day of the month, I always include it in the next month's budget. And so I actually would have gotten two paychecks anyway, because one on the 30th of, or 31st of July and one on August 15th. But I didn't realize that I'd be getting paid out vacation. I didn't get that on my last job because they didn't meet their threshold, so I kind of figured that I just wouldn't, so I wasn't making on that. But that was the equivalent of a full paycheck. So I actually got a lot from that. So I didn't make any money from my business this month, and we didn't have any miscellaneous income, which is unusual for us. But and these other sources are uh, things that I've blocked out for my husband's privacy because he doesn't ask to be on these videos. But so we planned for $5,400 total, and we actually brought in $6,586.75, which is more like a normal month for us. So that was really great because we're doing a kitchen renovation this month, which ended up being a lot more expensive than we planned. Doesn't it always? But the first item in our budget is always giving, so we give to our church. That ended up being $550.38, and then we support some other ministries at $188.15. So total this month was $738.53. And then the next line item is our bills. And this, actually, if you are interested, I designed this budget sheet to match I'll give you a little picture, the August plum paper subscription kit. So if you are interested in picking that up, I actually sell them on Etsy now. So you can get this one, or you can get any of the months coming up, because I make a new one for each corresponding sticker set. So our mortgage, always $1,200. And this month I actually, since we are coming up on a year of home ownership, and we have a new insurance company because our old one, it's totally my fault, but they wanted us to, after we signed the thing and we paid them, they sent me an email asking for us to cut the trees back from the house, and they wanted it done by, I think it was like March, and at that time we had renters in the house, and it was just kind of overwhelming, and I was like doing a ton of other stuff, and I just could not, I did not get that done, and so they canceled, or not canceled, but like they did a non-renewal, so we couldn't use them again this year. So I went with another company, which was fine. But all that to say, I don't know. I think it'll be the exact same, but it may affect a little bit, like our mortgage payment for the next month. And then my phone bill is always $44. Our Wi-Fi is always 60. Ooh, always needing white out. 69.81. Our electricity, I already knew this amount when I made this budget, so it's $119.62. That was terrible handwriting. Water, sewer, trash, I already knew this one. It's $87.85. Natural gas, I didn't know, and so that ended up only being $26.08. Car insurance was $148.90. We actually switched car insurance providers too, so that has gone down just a little bit for moving forward. And then health insurance, always $160.37. And then I actually added two new bills this month because there are things that I wanted to add to our budget when we became debt free, which we did in July. But I didn't know, or I didn't have them planned when I made this budget. So one of them is life insurance. So my husband and I both got policies. So I didn't plan on that. And it was at the end of the month, so mine went through, but then his didn't go through until the beginning of September. So we only have my payment in here for this month. But in the future, it'll be, I think, $59 total. So mine is $22 or $23, which is, my age. And his is $36. So get it while you're younger, because it is cheaper. Jared is 32 and I'm 23. So, it drastically increases as you get older. So our total for this bills category is $1,000. $879.52. And then moving on to our other expenses category. Oh, and I like I said, there were 2 additional bills. So the gym membership, I just did not have a line, and I did not have enough lines here. So I am including that here, and then I will add another line for my templates moving forward. So anyway, groceries and household, we did terribly on this. I'm just gonna say, we had planned for 420, which was even upping it from 400, which was our old goal. Absolutely terrible. We spent $548.09, and I just, guys, I feel like every month it gets more expensive, and I just, honestly, I feel like our lifestyle or like our grocery budget has been slowly creeping up because I'm buying more, like, I don't know what the right word is, but like expensive foods. Like, I buy a lot of high, what I'm trying to say, like organic and like low sugar, kind of healthier snacks for myself, and those are, on a whole more expensive. Like to get chips made out of like vegetables is more expensive than just to buy regular chips. So that does add up, and I've been trying to be more conscious about that and buy snacks that are, not that different, like just simply popcorn instead of like specialty items. So, and I've mentioned this before, but my husband is training for a marathon, and so we've been buying him a lot more like protein shakes, which also add up fast. But hopefully we can reel it in for next month, or for this current month. We're now in September. Anyway, eating out, we did 187, so not too bad. The next line item is gas, and our budget's usually $100, but I had opted to $130 because we took a trip for a week at the beginning of August to visit my family in Austin, and I didn't really know how much it was going to be. We ended up at $141.41, so not too bad, and I'm glad that I had increased the budget for this month. And then Jared's allowance. This will be a shocker to you guys because Jared never goes over, but this month he did. He spent $115.15, and this is because he bought some items for some like clothing items and new running shoes for his marathon. So all of the supplies he's been just getting up, because it's next month, so we're getting pretty close. He's getting everything that he needs, but he ended up going over budget, which is not something we see from him. I almost always go over budget, so I spent $104. So I really don't have any room to talk, but he doesn't honestly even look at this or know, because he never goes over, and then he tells me that he watches the videos and he's like, I don't even know what that I spent. Well, like, I'm like, yeah, I know, because you never are even close to it. But for subscriptions, so this month we budgeted 60, but we actually spent 87.78, and this is because so last year we opened Jared a credit card because we were trying to buy a house, and he had no credit because he'd never had any loans before or anything, and so we opened it, and he like wasn't approved for any other credit cards except for this one through a bank that was like a secured credit card where you give them $300 and it has an annual fee of $35. So it's not a great card at all, but we opened it for him hoping to build his credit because we were hoping to buy a house in March. But then we ended up buying a house in September, and his credit was fine. I don't know why he kept being denied for all his credit cards. He had like a 774 score, and that was because I put him on my credit card like as an authorized user as soon as we got married, and so he was gaining, all of the points for having been open that long, and his score was actually higher than mine. I was so mad because he had no reason for it to be so high. But then when we were applying for our mortgage, we hadn't received any statements for this new credit card that we'd applied for because we just applied for it. And so it was really difficult. They were like, where are the statements? And I was like, well, we don't have any. And honestly, I don't even need this card anymore. Like, we should just cancel it. And so it's a mess, but we haven't canceled it yet. So we had to pay that $35 fee again. And I thought it would be in September because that's when we paid for it last year, but the bill came in August. So that's why our subscriptions were over. We will be canceling that card because there's absolutely no reason to pay for it. Okay, so household items. This just includes like anything that we're buying for our house, like decor or furniture or anything that is not staying on the house, like that does not increase the home's value. So we budgeted 100 and we spent exactly 100, and this is because I sometimes when I'm buying things together, like I went to Lowe's a bunch to buy things for renovation, and some items that I buy that are home and not reno, like I bought this little wire shelf to put for sink to go under the sink and organize like under there. And then I bought like a potted plant thing, those kinds of things. I always just round that. So I didn't buy anything like on its own for that category. It was always with another trip. So I was just round like, okay, this was $10. So I'm going to say it was $11 because of tax, that kind of thing. So that's why that's an even number. And then miscellaneous, we ended up spending $115.26. And then gym membership, which we hadn't planned for. So this month was expensive because, so the gym membership that I got is $20 a month, but they have like an enrollment fee. So I had to pay a $40. So I paid $63.81 this month. And then they also, like 2 months after you start, you have to pay another $40 fee. So really, if you do the math, it ends up being more like $25 a month, which is kind of expensive to me. Like, I feel like that's expensive, but I don't know. I needed to get a gym membership, and that's like the only one around. So you can let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think that that's a good deal or not. But that's what I got. So the total we spent this month in this category is $1,463.13. So not great, but less of a discrepancy than we've had before. And then moving on to sinking funds. So when I made this budget, I didn't know what my starting amount would be because I made it before the month of July ended, and that's how I knew. So now I know those numbers. So, but this first item, home maintenance, we started with $0 in there. And a lot of this changed. I always move things around, and so I just have to use whiteout. And I don't know a better way to do this because I cannot include another line in here to say like budget and then actual and minus, because it's just too many lines on this page. If you have an idea of a better way, I'd be open to hearing it, because right now I just have to change with whiteout every time I change how much I'm going to add or subtract that month. So for home maintenance, we added $100, we spent $0, and we spent a lot of money on a renovation, but I want to leave money in just this home maintenance fund as a separate place for things that actually come up that are emergencies, like if we had a plumbing emergency or the AC broke, that kind of thing. I want to have a separate fund for that. And we have been supposed to be putting a lot of money in here already, but we've just been spending it on renovations, which is why I separated it out, because I was like, if it's in the renovation category, we will spend it because I love renovations. Anyway, in renovations, we started the month with $54.19. I had planned to put $550. We were doing a kitchen renovation, which was kind of the last big thing that we've been planning on since we bought the house. And of course, it ended up being way more expensive than we thought. Initially, we planned on like, oh, this is going to cost like $500. Jokes. I don't know why we thought it would be that. But it ended up being like, I think like $1,600 total over the time that we spent it, because we bought countertops way back in April, I think, and we did the rest just now. So we ended up having to add $876. We spent $929.41. So we are left with 78 cents. And I just added enough to make it so that we'd be positive. I don't like, I just want to make sure we always cover our spending, because I don't like borrowing from my future self by making it go negative. All of these accounts are in one bank account. So the total in the bank account is like whatever the total here at the bottom is. It's not like, I don't have a separate bank account for each. So travel, we had $429.26 going into the month, and I planned to spend $200. We actually spent a lot more. I had planned to add $200 because, and a lot of this changed because when I realized that I was actually going to have the equivalent of 3 paychecks instead of 1 paycheck, I was like, oh, we have more money to play with. So I added some money to these categories because travel is a really big priority for us. We are currently saving for a 2-month trip to Europe next summer. So I added $550, and we spent $383.09, and this was for our trip to Austin, which is more expensive than I would have liked. A lot of this was food while we were there, and then we also did some activities. We did like an escape room, and we went to some museums, and that cost money, but we really wanted to have fun and experience it like tourists, because we always go and we just stay with my family, and Jared, he likes going to Austin for the sake of Austin, so he wanted to experience some of those things, which is fine. But anyway, we left the month with $596.17. So not as much as I would like in here, obviously, but I really expect this to start picking up later, because right now we have I think almost $4,000 in other currency saved for this trip. So when I say other currency, I mean we have over $1,000 of credit card points that we got from a bonus when opening a credit card, which we did specifically to get the bonus for this trip because we wanted to save and use for that. And then we have almost $3,000 in a travel credit from a company from our wedding slash honeymoon trip that we were supposed to take in March of 2020, which obviously we didn't get to take, very last minute. So we are going to call them and use that first, and then use our credit card points, and then use our own money. So yes, I'm saving, and yes, I should be further along, but I'm not, and that's kind of why I'm okay with that. And then for gifts, we started the month with 13.12. And then we added 160 and we spent 164.29. And this was on my mom's birthday and my father-in-law's birthday. And then also we bought some concert tickets, or not concert tickets, they're tickets, but for an event for my birthday, which is in October. We're going to see actually a gymnastics meet from Simone Biles and some other gymnasts, which I'm really excited about. They're coming to the area, and the same weekend that we are in like the city for my husband's marathon and my birthday, which are on the same day. So we purchased tickets to that, and we're going to do that for my birthday, which is going to be really fun. So we ended with $8.83 in there. And then Christmas, we started with 200. We added 100. We spent nothing, so we now have 300 in there. Health, we started with 477.85. We added 50. We spent 53.79. So we ended with less. We ended with 474.06. And I can't remember what this was. Probably vitamins. I don't know. Usually that's what it is when it's a small thing like that. And then auto, we started the month with, oh no. Actually, it's for, I had a lab bill for some labs that I had, and I was kind of frustrated about it because they told me it would be covered by my insurance, and then not all of it was, so I had to pay that. And then auto, 548 is what we started with, 13. We added 50, we spent 41.50, and this was on, this probably shouldn't really be in the auto sinking fund, but like anytime we have tolls, that's where I put it. We don't use the toll road very often. It goes through Dallas, and we don't like to go to Dallas, but we did use it to take our trip to Austin, so that's what, like, it just reloads, I think, $20 at a time, so we didn't spend $40. There is just now some money in that account that remains to be used. So that's how much we spent, so we ended with 556.63. So total sinking funds, we started with 1722.55. We added 1886. We used $1,572.08. So we ended with $2,036.47. So those are our sinking funds. And then moving on to our savings. This is our main goal right now, is to finish out our emergency fund. We're trying to get it to $10,000, which is about, I don't know, of like true expenses and bills, about through 2.5 months. Plus, we have an additional $3,500 in our checking account as a buffer, which is 1 month. So we started with $6,289.29. We planned to add only 98, and we actually added 369.76. And then so we ended with 6,659.05. And then investments, we started, and this is just like I check what the market says on the first day of the month and then on the last day of the month. So our accounts were sitting at 6,875.01. We planned to add 400. We actually only added 249.81. So we ended though with 7,265.94, which is market growth. Like if you add this plus this, the difference is $141. So that's how much like our accounts just grew passively this month. So we started with 13,164.30. We added 619.57. We ended with 13,924.94. So we didn't, we added more than we had thought, but we really should have been able to do a lot more, but we had to, we ended up spending almost double on our renovation than we planned, and then we also went over on our grocery budget. So that's kind of what, did us in this month. So just moving forward, I'm really hoping that we are done with renovations for now, because we are now down one income. So we don't have as much wiggle room, and I would love to get this goal finished as soon as possible. And right now it's going really slowly. So hopefully next month will be better. But if you enjoyed watching this video, please let me know. Give this video a thumbs up and give me a follow, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.